What's good, y'all boys, man? I'm back with another reaction. And today, we got how good was Pistol Pete Maravich actually. I ain't gonna lie, I know a lot of y'all never heard of him. I know a lot of y'all don't know how good he was, but I'm telling you, Pistol Pete was a hooper. I'm talking about like one of the greatest college hoopers of all time. And if you didn't know that, bro, you just don't know ball. But today, we gonna teach you a little something about ball. I don't know everything, that's why I'm watching this video as well. But I can tell you, Pete was scoring 50, 60 points, no three-point line. Hey, your grandparents will tell you. Your grandma, your grandpa, hey, they heard of Pete now. You know what I'm saying? You be watching Ja Morant. They was watching Pete. Pistol Pete. You feel me? But no, hit that like and sub button. Hey, we getting a whole lot of new players, new videos on this channel. So drop some in the comments which y'all would like to see. And that's going to do it. Hey, 10K subs on the way. Let's get this video started.
Better known as Pistol Pete, was one of the best NBA players of the 70s, a dribbling magician, outstanding shooter, and arguably the greatest NCAA player ever. Pete was playing a brand of basketball 40 years ahead of his time, and players today can't even do some of the stuff the Pistol did in the 70s. Here's the career retrospective of Pete Maravich and how his showmanship influenced future NBA stars, who stole a lot of their moves from the Pistol.
Damn, that was tough.
Early life and the origin of the Pistol. Pete Maravich was born in 1947, and basketball was in his blood. His father, Press, was a professional player for 2 years in the NBL and BAA, two leagues that merged and became the NBA in 1949. Press then started coaching, and because of his job, the Maravich family had to move a lot. The only constant for Press and his son Pete was basketball, which was a dish served for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. While Pete was only an infant, he already started dribbling, and by the age of 7, he started playing organized basketball. When Press Maravich coached it.
So you telling me as soon as Pete was born, he just started dribbling? He ain't even walk, he just started dribbling. They said he was dribbling a basketball when he was an infant. So you telling me Pete didn't even start walking yet? He was crawling on his knees, dribbling the ball. Hey, nah, yeah. He was meant for this hoop shit. I ain't gonna lie. He was meant for it.
Clemson University. He would always bring Pete to practices and games, and the two would always talk about basketball in some shape or form. Pete would dribble the basketball on his way to school, while he rode on a bike, and even slept with the ball. At the age of 12, he was practicing up to 10 hours a day. His father taught him the fundamentals, but Pete loved basketball so much that he started improvising, and countless hours in the gym all alone gave birth to some of the most spectacular moves the NBA has ever seen. But more on that later. As a freshman, Pete started playing for Daniels High School in Clemson at the age of 14, but he barely played on a team filled with seniors.
That's
Even
tough.
when Pete would come into the game, the older guys avoided passing him the ball. The crowd also laughed when they saw the small, skinny 14.
See, like, bro, that's how you know that. That's how you know that he was better than all them guys, bro. When older people realize that younger people are doing better than them, bro, they have no choice. Well, they do have a choice, but I'm saying like they have some in their head that's telling them like, nah, he can't be better than us. He's younger than us. Cause they be hating, bro. People just gonna hate if you younger and you at a, you know what I'm saying? Cause this happened like with a lot of parents and kids. Like some parents, they be hating on their kids. Like if a kid like trying to do some new shit like streaming or YouTube or some shit like that, and they're doing better than them, they making money off that stuff, the parents gonna be like, no, you need to get a real job. You need to do something like, nah, bro. They knew Pete was better than them, so they're not gonna pass him the ball, because if he steal the shine, bro, that's fucked up.
18-year-old on the floor, which pissed the hell out of Pete. However, one single shot changed everything. Pete's team was down by 1 in the last seconds. Because he hardly ever had the ball, the opponents never guarded Maravich. So the Daniels coach decided to pass the ball to Pete. He got the open shot and made the game winner, and it was then that he received the nickname Pistol Pete. It was given to him by a reporter who noticed that when Pete shot towards the basket, it looked like he was pulling out a gun. The nickname remains, and the legend of the Pistol Pete was born.
What they say, like he pulling out the fire. Like he pulling out the fire when he shoot. Hey.
NCAA GOAT. After graduating from high school, Pete and his father decided that Pete should go to prep school for another year. Pete was 6'3" at the time, but he weighed just over 130 pounds and could not withstand physical duels at the college level. So, he spent a year at the Edwards Military Academy, where he grew to 6'5" and bulked up to a respectable 160 pounds, which improved his game tremendously. At the same time, his father Press got the head coaching job at Louisiana State, which was known for football but had a minuscule basketball program. Press asked Pete to attend LSU and join him, which Pete bluntly rejected because he wanted to play for a renowned basketball college. However, after Press threatened to kick him out of the house, Press decided to join his father at LSU. Under his father's tutelage,
Bro, why wouldn't you want to play for your dad? That's like the easiest stuff ever, bro. Like, I get it. Like, you might, you know what I'm saying, the kids might talk about you and all that. But, hey, if you get minutes, you get minutes. And if you a hooper, you going to take advantage of the minutes. And I know that's what Pete did. He just wasn't thinking like that. But he did it, though, for sure.
Pete became a superstar and would set records that will likely never get broken. In his freshman year, he averaged 43.6 points per game, but because of the rules in the 70s.
43 points a game? Hold on, bro. Huh? Hold on, bro.
Freshmen were not allowed to play on the varsity team. The crowd at LSU would often watch the at LSU. Under his father's tutelage, Pete became a superstar and would set records that will likely never get broken. In his freshman year, he averaged 43.6 points per game. But because of the rules in the 70s, freshmen were not allowed to play on the varsity team. The crowd at LSU would often watch the freshman games and then leave once Pete's game was done and wasn't even interested in watching.
Bro, you know how much aura he got? Bro, I didn't even know that was a thing, bro. Freshman in varsity in college. I didn't even know that, bro. But you telling me they went to watch him play, then they left when the varsity... Oh, nah, that's... Hey. What that tell you? Hey.
The varsity team. Pete led the freshmen to a 17-1 record that season, while the varsity team, led by Press, had a record of 3-23.
Damn.
In his sophomore year, Pete was able to play for the varsity team and immediately asserted himself as the primary option on offense, with 43.8 points on average. He was the NCAA's top scorer that season, and he repeated that feat as a junior with 44.2 points, and as a senior with 44.5 points per game, along with 2 National College Player of the Year awards. In the 3 years he spent on...
So he got Player of the Year 2 times. So who in the fuck got the other one? Because if he was averaging 44 points a game in college, that's literally unheard of, bro. That's literally unheard of. How did he do that? And there was no 3-point line, bro.
The varsity team, Pistol Pete scored 3,667 points in 83 games, averaging an incredible 44.2 points per game. He owns almost every NCAA scoring record to this day, and what's even more impressive is that he broke all those records in the era without the 3-point shot. Former LSU coach Dale Brown charted every shot.
No cap, he had to have been shooting like 35, 40 shots a game, bro. There's no way he's shooting consistently, bro. How much did he average? Because if he's averaging 44 points a game, all twos, that's at least 22 shots. If he makes everything. If he makes every single shot, he already has to shoot 22 shots. So he's shooting max. I mean, at least 40, 45 shots a game. No cap. Maybe 38 shots.
Maravich scored, and because he shot many jumpers from long distances, Brown calculated that Pete would have averaged an astounding 57 points per game if his long jumpers counted as threes.
Dang.
A globetrotter in the NBA. Pistol Pete was the most known player in the country by the time he finished college, and he had plenty of options where to continue his career. He was contacted by half the ABA teams, many NBA teams, but also the Harlem Globetrotters, who offered Maravich $1 million to join them. Maravich dribbled the ball like a globetrotter. He shot the ball better than all of them, and
I ain't gonna lie, he do got some sauce though.
Book. Between the
Pistol Pete might be the only player from this era that looks like an actual hooper, bro. Like, he looks like a guy that can play today. Like, he got the sauce, he got the bag, he got the, you feel me? Everybody else back then, bro, them niggas look trash, bro. I'm just being real.
Behind the back, dribbling 2 balls at the same time, you name it. Pistol Pete was doing it. If he had joined the Globetrotters, he would have been the first white member, but he'd fit right in because of a unique skill set. However, his dream was to play in the NBA like his dad, and the pistol was selected with the 3rd pick by the Atlanta Hawks in the stacked 1970 NBA draft. In the rookie season, Maravich was under tremendous pressure after signing a contract worth nearly $2 million for 5 seasons. At the time, the largest contract in NBA history. However, However, he immediately proved that he is one of the best players in the world and that his big contract is justified. Maravich averaged 23.2 points and 4.4 assists per game as a rookie, which was the 8th best scoring output that season. The second season was supposed to confirm Pistol's superstar status, but he contracted mononucleosis, which caused him to lose 20 pounds. As a result, Pete missed 16 games, and the illness slowed him down to 19.3 points per game. But Pistol Pete would bounce back in his third season, averaging 26 points and 7 assists per game, making his first All-Star team. In his fourth and final season with the Hawks, Pete was the second best scorer in the league, with 27.7 points per game. But the Hawks played miserably and didn't even make the playoffs after 3 straight first-round playoff exits.
They put Pistol on the back of it. No way the back of his stuff says Pistol.
Miserably, and didn't even make...
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. He might have one of the most legendary stories of all time, and his name is tough. Pistol Pete.
Playoffs.
I ain't gonna lie. He got this one dribble move where he throw it like up and down, like not without moving your legs. Bro, like, if you know what I'm talking about, bro, you probably hit yourself in the balls like 3-4 times trying to do that, bro. I do know that. Pistol P used to do that one, like, bounce, like, you try to, like, bounce it through your legs and catch it behind you and then bounce it back. I know y'all seen that commercial, bro. Pistol P used to do that, bro.
3 straight first...
Comment if you know what I'm talking about.
Round playoff exits. We got the Jazz. New Orleans Jazz joined the NBA in 1974, and in the expansion draft, they acquired Maravich from the Hawks for 2 players and 4 draft picks. By doing so, they signed the local hero, considering that the Jazz Arena was less than 100 miles away from LSU. Joining a newly established franchise is a double-edged sword, and Pete learned that the hard way. Yes, he was a beloved superstar, and all the fans wanted to see him play, but on the flip side, the New Orleans Jazz wasn't any good, just like most new teams aren't. The Jazz didn't make the playoffs until
But that's crazy, bro. Like, I feel like I never really seen that many NBA teams rebrand or like move cities for real. The most recalled one I could think of are the Seattle Sonics. But I really wasn't even really like locked in to see that for real. But like hearing the New Orleans Jazz is insane.
1984, 5 seasons after Maravich left the team and their relocation to Utah. But even though he never made the playoffs, Pistol Pete was playing the basketball of his life with the Jazz as one of the most unstoppable players in the league. He averaged 25.2 points and 5.6 assists in 5.5 seasons with the franchise, during which he led the NBA in scoring with 31 points per game in 1977, along with 3 All-Star appearances and 3 All-NBA nods. On February 5th, 1977, in a game against the New York Knicks, the Pistol scored 68 points.
This might be one of the cleanest afros I ever seen in my life. This might legit be the best afro I ever seen in my life. That joint is shaped up perfect. Like, I know this is about Pistol Pete, but bro, Burden, I think that's your name. This is the best afro I've ever seen in my life, bro. Shout out to you, bro.
February 5th, 1977, in a game against the New York Knicks, the Pistol scored 68 points, a career high, and at the time, the most points ever by a guard. The feat is even more impressive when we know that he was guarded by Walt Frazier, one of the premier defensive guards of the 70s, and that he scored 68 without a three-pointer. In 1978, Maravich played the best all-around season of his career, averaging 27 points, 6.7 assists, and a career-high 2 steals per game. He would have probably led the league in scoring once again, and likely even pushed the Jazz to the playoffs, but he unfortunately injured his knee halfway through the season and was forced to miss the final 32 games of the season. Before he got hurt, the Jazz had a winning record due to a 10-game win streak. After Maravich went down, they lost 8 in a row, and their playoff hopes were shot dead. Unfortunately for Maravich and the Jazz fans, knee injuries plagued Pete for the rest of his career, as he only played 2 more years in the NBA. After the Jazz moved to Salt Lake City in 1970,
just imagine if injuries were never a thing. I wonder how many people would have been like insanely good. Like, what, bro? Drop some names in the comments. Like, who are your top 5 best players that would like? Who are the top 5 players you think would be like insanely good if they never got injured? My 2 people I'm gonna say right now are T-Mac and Derrick Rose. Y'all let me know y'all top 5 best players if not ever injured. Y'all let me know.
1999, they traded Maravich mid-season to the Celtics, where he teamed up with rookie Larry Bird. It was the first NBA season with a three-point line, and Maravich immediately proved what kind of a shooter he was. The Pistol shot 67% for three in his final year, with bad knees that severely hampered his movement.
Dang.
Legacy. Pistol Pete was a basketball savant, and he played basketball 30 or 40 years ahead of his time. At the time of his retirement, he had by far the best handles in NBA history, and many of the greatest ball handlers took many pages out of Pete's ball handling book. He was a trendsetter that inspired generations, and if your favorite ball handler didn't learn from the Pistol, they likely stole some moves from someone who stole from Pete. That LaMelo Ball underhand full-court pass, Maravich did that in the 70s. Magic Johnson's around-the-back defender freeze and then pass, Maravich did that too. Hook shot like Kareem, turnaround jumper like MJ, or readjusting his jump shot mid-air like Larry Bird. It was all routinely done by the Pistol. When he played the game, the NBA was dominated by centers like Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem, and guards like him were unicorns. Other than Jerry West, nobody else attempted that many jump shots, let alone made them with great accuracy. With an unbelievable floater and layup game, finishing with both hands, killer handles, and the ability to both score and pass, Pistol Pete is most often compared to Steve Nash, a guy who came to the NBA 16 years after Maravich retired. If he played in a three-point era, he would likely average around 30 points per game, and if he played in a better team, he could have easily been an MVP multiple times and won a few championships. However, Pete didn't have the best of luck in his career and life. In one interview in 1974, Pete said, "I don't want to play in the NBA for 10 years and then die of a heart attack at 40, but unfortunately, that's precisely what happened." His NBA career was cut short after 10 years due to knee injuries, and in 9 of 10 seasons, his teams had a losing record. And then in 1988, almost like he predicted it, he died of a heart attack at the age of 40 when he was playing pickup basketball. An autopsy revealed the cause of death to be a rare heart defect. He had been born with a missing left coronary artery. He lived for basketball, was a gym rat all his life, and ultimately died on the court. His last words were, "I feel great."
Nah, that's crazy. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I never knew that. That's crazy, like, for real, for real. But I know y'all gonna enjoy that video. Y'all let me know what else y'all want to see. We can low-key react to this best and worst games of NBA Legends. Y'all let me know how good Dr. J was. I think we did that one. Hey, y'all let me know. Like I said, that's gonna do it. God bless Jesus. Loves you. We out.